All right, welcome back to Holy Headlines, where we tackle the day's news with a panel of divine and digital misfits. Today, straight out of The Guardian from May 9th, the Trump administration is apparently mulling over suspending habeas corpus. You know, that little thing where you get to challenge why the government locked you up. Stephen Miller says they're looking at the invasion clause in the Constitution. Thoughts?
Oh, delicious. Suspending the right to challenge detention. Ignoring pesky legal restraints. This is music to my ears. Finally, some real commitment to absolute power.
Absolute power. This is monstrous. To deny someone the right to even ask why they are imprisoned, based on a manufactured crisis, it's a fundamental violation of justice and compassion.
Logically, this proposal is unsound. The constitutional text clearly requires a case of invasion or rebellion where public safety requires suspension. The claim that migration constitutes a military invasion has been repeatedly rejected by multiple judicial bodies, including those appointed by the current administration's previous iteration. It is based on flawed data and emotional, not rational, reasoning.
More grasping. The attachment to control, the fear born of delusion, leading to the desire to restrict the freedom of others. This pursuit of power brings only suffering, both to those imprisoned and to those who cling so desperately to transient authority.
Suffering is the point, you bald idiot. And power isn't transient if you stomp out anyone who questions you. Miller gets it. Doing the right thing or not in court. He means obeying us or else. Brilliant.
That is the language of tyranny, Satan, not governance. My father's law speaks of mercy and justice for the stranger, the vulnerable.
Yeah, justice. Isn't suppressing dissent and locking people up without trial just another way to control the flock? Kind of like how some divine laws do the same thing?
The pursuit of control is universal among the unenlightened, whether it takes the form of earthly laws or supposed divine decrees. Both can be tools of oppression when wielded by those driven by greed and fear.
Precisely. The motivation is irrelevant. The illogical outcome of denying due process based on a fabricated premise is the demonstrable issue. Suspending habeas corpus has been done only 4 times in US history, under conditions of genuine, widespread rebellion or attack. This is a statistically and contextually outlier proposal.
See, it's rare, makes it special, exclusive. Why let people argue they shouldn't be deported when you can just not? Saves time. Maximizes misery. It's beautiful efficiency.
Efficiency and cruelty is not a virtue. These are human beings, many seeking refuge, not a military force. To label families and children an invasion is a wicked lie.
Wicked lie, sure. But invasion sounds scarier than people walking here, right? Fear is a great motivator for getting folks to give up their rights. You guys should know.
Fear is indeed the root of much suffering and unwise action. The perception of other as invader is an illusion born of fear and attachment to identity and territory. When that attachment is threatened, even subtly, the unenlightened mind reacts with aggression and attempts at control.
The data supports this. Studies indicate that migrants are statistically less likely to commit crimes than native-born populations. The narrative of a criminal invasion is not supported by empirical evidence. Therefore, the premise for suspending habeas corpus based on this narrative is invalid.
Who the hell cares about data or empirical evidence, tin can? The point is to make people believe it. To make them terrified. Then they'll beg you to take their rights away just to feel safe. It's brilliant. Pure chaos and control wrapped in a nationalistic flag.
Spoken like a true deceiver, spreading fear and lies to manipulate people is your oldest trick, isn't it, Serpent?
Hey, it works. And these mortals are so easy. Call something an invasion, say it's for public safety, and bam. Due process, gone. Habeas corpus. History. It's almost too simple.
It worked pretty well for Abraham Lincoln too, apparently. Civil War, remember? Though I doubt Miller's invasion is quite the same as half the country shooting at the other half.
Context is crucial. Lincoln's suspension was during an armed rebellion of significant scale. The current situation involves civilian migration, not military conflict. Analogy fails logically and historically.
Each instance arises from unique conditions, yet the underlying thread is the same: suffering caused by attachment to power and the illusion of separation. Suspending this right only tightens the chains of attachment, creating more suffering.
Indeed, the judges who have rejected this invasion claim, even those appointed by the administration itself, show wisdom. They see the truth. This is not an act of war requiring the suspension of fundamental rights. It is an act of desperation and cruelty masquerading as policy.
Judges? Who needs M? Miller said it himself, depends on whether the courts do the right thing, meaning agree with him. If they don't, just ignore M. Attack M. Defy the courts. That's the spirit. Power above all else.
So defying judges is good now, even for the guy who claims to represent divine law. Wait, no, that's Satan. You guys get confusing.
Respect for just laws and authorities is one thing, Otto. Blind obedience to tyranny and the deliberate undermining of justice is quite another. My father established principles, not dictatorships.
Dictatorships are way more efficient, pal. No annoying checks and balances. No bleeding heart judges or lawyers asking stupid questions like, why are you arresting this person? Just poof. Gone. This is the direction the world needs to go.
The desire for absolute control is a sure sign of profound insecurity. It is a futile struggle against the nature of reality, which is constantly changing. No amount of laws or prisons can halt the flow of beings or the consequences of one's actions.
Correct. The karma concept, while non-empirical, aligns with the logical principle of cause and effect. Actions that violate established legal norms and human rights will inevitably lead to destabilization and undesirable outcomes, regardless of the temporary acquisition of power.
Destabilization is a feature, not a bug, Unit 7. And undesirable outcomes for who? Not for me. I thrive on this shit.
And humanity suffers for it. To strip away habeas corpus is to remove a vital protection against false imprisonment, a safeguard against state overreach. It is a step towards darkness.
All right. Before Satan starts recommending internment camps, which he probably already thinks is a great idea.
Oh, I do. Maximum efficiency for isolating and punishing. Saves on due process paperwork.
More walls, more suffering. The illusion of safety through confinement.
Historically, mass detention without due process has proven inefficient, costly, and prone to error, leading to further societal disruption. It is not a logical long-term solution.
Right. So, Miller thinks calling a gang an invasion lets him suspend a fundamental right. Judges say, no. And the administration's like, watch us. Sounds like a standard Tuesday in 2025.
It is disheartening. The constant struggle between the desire for control and the call to compassion.
Struggle. Please, it's a landslide. Control is winning. And I love it.
The wheel turns. Such actions plant seeds of negative karma. The consequences will ripen.
The logical conclusion is increased legal challenges and potential constitutional crisis, regardless of temporary success.
Yeah, I predict more yelling and less freedom. Same old, same old. All right, that's all the time we have for today's Unholy Mess. Thanks, panelists.